All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Real Music Observer. My name is Dave. I am observing real music in real time for real people just like you and me. Breaking news, kind of, sort of. I'm at the point now where I'm ready to say it looks like Neal Schon wants to work with Steve Perry again, and that the two are going to meet up after the current Journey tour. It's been quite a long time since these two have worked together. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of interesting information that has been provided to me. An article that I didn't see as well about Greg Raleigh being ticked off that he wasn't allowed to go on stage with the other guys in Journey. I guess 2 votes against Greg Raleigh prevented him from going up there. And those 2 votes, my guess, came from Jonathan Cain, his replacement, and Ross Valerie. Based on the fact that Neal Schon went off and talked about how Ross was no help, in the sense that he wanted to do something creative with Journey, and that both Ross and Jonathan Cain seem like they're on autopilot. Of course, Neal has been hypercritical of Jonathan Cain's newfound faith, and even to some degree his wife, which I think is a little on the harsh side, but making these comments. And really, if you follow both guys on Twitter, which I was blocked by Neal Schon on Twitter, so I don't know what he's saying now about Jonathan Cain, but I was told that it looks like Perry and Schon will probably meet up after the tour and discuss recording some music together. Now, I think that's cool. I think Perry's brand is, because he's been secluded and out of the limelight for so long, and I think something happened at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to see Perry back up there on stage, just talking to the audience in a way which we've come to love. He was very blunt, very honest, humorous. I did a video about how I thought his speech was humble and also to the point, and wasn't bombastic or wasn't self-indulgent, wasn't all about Steve, which in the old days it seemed to me that Steve made the band about him. And maybe he's come to a new place where he realizes it's not about him. In fact, he paid tribute to Arnel Pineda, which I thought was really cool. And Arnel, by the way, is sort of the forgotten man in all of this. It's like Neal finds this singer on YouTube. He pretty much squeezes the guy out. Doesn't have a whole lot left in the vocal tank. That will happen when you're screaming Journey songs for 4 years, 5 years on the road nonstop. It's just the way it is. It happened to Steve Augeri, and it's happening to Arnel. And look, folks, let's be honest. We know that Perry is not going to be able to bring it vocally like he used to. But I have a hunch that Schon is willing to work with Perry, even with Perry's diminished range, because Perry, just to hear him on vinyl, I shouldn't say vinyl, right? To hear him on CD or MP3 at this stage in everybody's life after so long, it would be a huge get for Neal Schon. And Neal Schon is all about branding. He's all about marketing. Remember, this is Neal Schon's Journey now. This is not just Journey in general. And even in the Greg Raleigh article, Greg made it clear that, hey, this is Neal Schon's band. And I agree with that, but I also disagree to some degree. And the reason is that Schon and Journey wouldn't be successful without the other players in the group. Whether you think Ross Valerie is a great bass player or not, he's been there almost as long as Neal Schon. I mean, he was one of the original guys, okay? At one point, they even had a rhythm guitarist, if you go way back in Journey's timeline, who started and then left the band back in the earliest days, and you've had singers come and go. The point is that a band isn't a band unless you have other people doing important and specific jobs. I mean, you've had great drummers over the years, thankfully, and they all played a huge role in crafting a sound which is now part of the American landscape. So the big news here really is that Schon and Perry are likely going to work together, and I don't know if it's going to be in the context of Journey, but it's interesting that this Greg Raleigh article was made, was brought to my attention, and then reading it, it almost sounds like Schon wants to replace both Jonathan Cain and Arnel Pineda and have Greg Raleigh play keys, have Perry sing, and maybe even have Dean Castronovo take drum duties back over from Steve Smith, although if you have Steve Smith still on board, you basically have an old school Journey reunion, unless you call Ainsley Dunbar and have him play drums, then you have a really old school Journey reunion happening from the late 70s, and I have a hunch that's where Neal Schon wants to take this thing. So that's my quick little report here. Schon and Perry very much could be working together again. Not sure if it'll be in the context of Journey or as just Perry and Schon. Perry and Schon would be enough. My name is Dave. This is the Real Music Observer, and we will talk again very soon.